Hey, g'day. Today I'm going to be tumbling a rather curiously named Lapis Lazuli. That's this blue stuff here. I don't think we get it in Australia. I bought this. I bought 2.5 kilos at a recent gem show. I'm also going to be tumbling this. This is some green opalite that I picked up recently out near Kalgoorlie. I think they're a similar sort of hardness, so they should play together well in the tumblers. We'll see, eh? So I'm just going to round these off. I'll cut some of the bigger ones down in size first, round them off and send them in the tumbler. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. I make videos on all things rock related, from finding, cutting and polishing, even a few helpful hints. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost anything, it's free to subscribe, and it will help me build my channel. Thanks. Alright, let's cut some rocks. This is a piece of the opalite. Now, opalite is a common opal, but it's not the precious type. The precious opal. It's common. It's everywhere. We call it opalite. Not everyone does, but we're stubborn, so we're going to keep calling it opalite. Just give them a quick round off against the blade after I've cut it down to size. This saves... Oh, that's not very special. This saves... Oh, that's really unspecial. This saves a lot of time in stage 1. If I pre-shape them, just treat them as if they're already in a tumbler rolling around, and then they go into the tumblers from there, already pre-shaped. This is a piece of Lapis Lazuli. I'll call it Lapis from now on. Lapis Lazuli sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? So yeah, it can be shortened to Lapis. A lot of people do that, call it Lapis. So there's some Lapis getting rounded off. Right, this is what we've ended up with. Lots of blue and green rocks ready to go into stage 1 of the tumblers. So, big ones can go in the big tumbler. No, they can go in there. Pretty fast, eh? Gets a bit boring if I don't speed these up. So I'm trying to keep them together because even though they're similar hardnesses, they're not the same. It won't matter in the vibe tumbler. In the rotaries, it's not such an issue. It's an ugly old rock, that one. I don't know how that got in there. Yeah, so for rotary tumbling, they're a little bit more finicky about having the same hardness of rocks. I think the Lapis is about 5 to 5.5 on the MOHS scale, so not particularly tough to hard. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, so some filler rocks go in. Fill up with the gaps between the larger ones. And then this we'll be using silicon carbide 46. Now, each barrel, or each 6-pound barrel, gets 6 tablespoons. It might have been 5, I didn't count. And each 3-pound barrel gets 3 tablespoons. There it goes. So, now we need to add some water. A little bit down first. Now the water goes into just below the level of the rocks. You don't want it overflowing the rocks. You don't want too little either. You want to be able to just see it below the level of the rocks. There, see? And now they'll get a lid. These lids are really wooden. I need to replace them. But they're still doing the job. Look at this. That's a seal I put on top of the seal that existed, and that's worn out as well. I'm going to do something about that. So the seal, that was the other one. It really blew out. I'll fix that up in the near future. So yes, seals go on, now the lids. Hang them down hard. And put on a washer and then a locking nut. And they will now go into the tumblers, the rotary tumblers, for a week. This one was in there, and a big one in here, and there we go. So this is a week later. The rocks in this slurry. So the slurry is the grit and all the rock dust that works away at smoothing the rocks. We call it a slurry. This is looking nice. Beautiful blue on that one. Same with that. Some nice blues. All these greens are nice too. So happy enough with these so far. Well, they got a good rinse under running water with a toothbrush, and now into the Vibe tumbler. So the Vibe tumbler takes all of them. For this we'll be using silicon carbide grit 220. Now we don't use much in the Rotary Tumbler. So the whole lot that took 18, was it? 12 tablespoons before, now only takes 3 tablespoons. And only go for 2 days. Put the lid on, screw them down. Now you need to check on these if you've got a Vibe tumbler. Let it dry out once over the 2 days, just have to squirt a bit of water in there, get them moving again. So this is after 2 days, they're dumping the lead out again. So at this point they're slightly more rounded, well, probably not more rounded, but more smooth, on their way to being polished. It's a messy job, someone's got to do it. Some of these looking very nice. Still some nice blues in here. Right, so they've got a good rinse under running water with a toothbrush, and now it's time for stage 3. 600 silicon carbide. So the 600 refers to how fine the silicon carbide grit is, the grains in there. So we started with, what was it, 48, went to 220, now 600, and then we'll finish on aluminium oxide, which is, I don't know, 1,000, maybe even smaller. Right, so a week, 2 days has passed. Took them out, give them a rinse. I'm noticing some of these bits of lapis aren't quite as colourful as when I started. I think I may have been ripped off in that, we're going to use tin oxide now instead of aluminium oxide. I think some of those rocks might have been stained, dyed, to make them look bluer. The problem is I bought it off 2 different suppliers, so I can't go back and say, hey, this stone's lost some blue, because I don't know which ones were which. It may just be a standard thing that Lapis does, I don't know. It seemed a bit odd. Some of them lost half their blue colouring. You'll see in the end what I mean. So polish, 2 days later, dump them out. The same process. Give it a quick rinse, see how they're progressing. Looking good. And then a good rinse and back to the bowl for a borax burnish or rinse. I've heard people call this a burnish, but to me, what it does is not, I don't call it burnish. It's just a wash. What this does is it works away, it's sort of like a washing powder. And it works away at any crevices and little holes in the rocks to hopefully get any remaining polish out. But any that still stays in, the stubborn polish, is going to be taken care of with the ultrasonic cleaners. My favourite part, just because it's good to watch. Again, you'll see in a minute what I mean. So these use ultrasonic vibrations. We'll start this one up. It takes a little while to get going. We'll start this one. You can see clouds of polish coming off the rocks. That one's not so spectacular. I'll give them a little shake, see what happens. But this one you can see it, look at those. So that would normally sit in the rock and discolour and make the rock look not as glossy and horrible. This is what I've ended up with. A tray of Lapis Lazuli. Not as glossy as I'd hope, but then at 5 to 5.5 on the hardness scale, you wouldn't expect much. The same with the Opalite. It's okay, but they're not overly glossy. Alright, I've ended up with 2 nice and colourful, what are they, containers, trays of rocks to add to the wall. So I'm going to take out some which I think are a bit boring. First will be this one here. Plain old jaspers and stuff. And I think the lapis will look good over there. And for the mint green Opalite, I think this one here, this is Amazonite. Yes, Amazonite. Almost gone. So I think this will fit in nicely there. So there we go. Hang around for the slideshow. All of these rocks, along with all those rocks you saw behind me before, I'm going to have for sale at our local rock club, Gems and Rock Sale, this Saturday. So if you're watching this in a week from now, that won't make any sense. But it's Saturday the 23rd of November. I'll be having a table selling all my polished rocks at very affordable prices. So if you're in the Perth area, Perth, Western Australia, pop in, say hi and grab some bargains. I really like seeing my subscribers or people that watch my videos on YouTube, and we have a laugh about how much of an idiot I can be sometimes. So yes, if you're in the area, pop in, say hi, I'd appreciate it. Alright, so that's it for Lapis Lazuli along with some green Opalite. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. See ya!